Hey man, welcome back to the channel, man. I need you to subscribe to the channel right now. Make sure you watch the whole video so you understand what's going on and comment as we go along, man. So look, man, this is crazy. Rod Wave, man, free Rod Wave, but I don't know, man. He strangulated a whole person. You're not supposed to strangulate people, man. He got locked up because dude spazzed out. I don't know. He got into some argument. He spazzed out. The person tried to throw a swing at him, and see, broad wave is short, so when they swung, it went right over his head, and then he came up from underneath them and got his hands right up under their neck. He put two hands up with the thumbs in the middle, and he squeezed like he was squeezing limes on his tacos or something, and he squeezed it. He was about to pop dude's head off. And somebody had from the other room had heard the scuffle going on, so they came in and they tried to break it up. They were already rolling around on the ground, and putting Rod Wave had the dude in a big headlock, trying to body slam him while choke slamming him like the Undertaker, man. So look, it's a bad look for Rod Wave. You know, first of all, he's a singer. He's not supposed to be fighting nobody. So he just lost a lot of fans from doing that. Second of all, man, Rod Wave is Rod Wave. Like, why is he over here trying to get into like choke people and get into situations, man? Like, why couldn't they just duke it out like one-on-ones or something? Or what was this about? Was this about money? Was it about a girl? What was it about, man? Was the situation over a clout, a diss, or some kind of social media post? That's what they're not telling you, because people don't just go around choking people for no reason, especially if they got a lot to lose like Rod Wave. You got to understand, Rod Wave is a millionaire. So when he goes to strangle somebody, he's got to be thinking in his mind like, hey, I could lose it all over this, you know? So it better be worth it, right? So maybe he had that thought in his head, and he knew that it could have been something that somebody said about his family, or maybe a threat made to him, or if Rod Wave in some way felt like his life was in danger, he could have possibly even responded in a self-defense way. But he posted that little video on Instagram where it showed the blue and red lights, and that it was the 12 talking to him. But the paperwork came out, and the paperwork showed that on May 1st, he got booked in for a felony battery charge for strangulation. So y'all got to realize that's a tough case, man. First of all, when you get into a fight, that's always the possibility that you could catch a case like battery. So while people are fighting and this and that, they start losing track of time. And while they're fighting, it's police on the way. It's 12 on the way. So you got to understand that everybody's watching, like all eyes are on you, especially if you're a famous rapper and you got tons of money, and people will want to try you and will want to say things to make you choke them. Who knows? You know, maybe the person was trying to get under his skin to get some kind of lawsuit. We don't know, but this is nothing. This is not a win for anybody. This dude was, basically manhandled. He got dragged by his neck everywhere, and he's really embarrassed. He's hurt. They seen him in a neck brace going to physical therapy. But what you gotta understand is they seen the dude already, in a neck brace, in a wheelchair. So it's not a good look, man. Rod Wave, he's gonna have to pay a lot of the damages that's already done, and his reputation, and he might lose some endorsements. You can't just be, I don't know who's endorsed Rod Wave, but if he has any endorsements or any commercial deals with anybody, like, that could come back to hurt him. Y'all gotta realize that this isn't just like Will Smith slapping somebody. This is Rod Wave strangling a whole nother person. Like, you're not supposed to strangle people. That's not in the rule books of how you operate and conduct business in anywhere in this country. So y'all gotta understand that they had to do what they had to do to seduce Rod Wave and tranquilize him so that they could cuff him up and put him in the back of the paddy wagon. and take him down to the pen because he just couldn't hold his anger enough to not choke somebody and strangle him in front of witnesses, and that's completely against law wherever he lives, I'm sure, and that's why they have probable cause to arrest him. So y'all gotta realize that, you know, if you're gonna do anything like that, you have to be justified, or else they were on the scene, you will be cuffed and taken away. Like, he's not innocent until proven guilty. Like, somebody was choked. They had to do something right then and there to get the alleged bad guy, right? And so now what happens next is that Rod Wave is going to have to basically go to court, go through the proceedings, the hearings, and basically try to build up a case for himself and tell his side of the story. And when he tells his side of the story, the judge is going to be listening to any kind of reasonable doubt that Rod Wave had, to make sure that he knew that for that moment in time, he was scared enough for his life to actually go ahead and lunge at the person and try to strangle him and do the position that he tried to do. I mean, he if he says that, you know, it was at that moment he was in fear of his life and he had nothing else he could do, and that he had no choice but to defend himself in the manner he chose to do that was by the form of strangulation. Now, if that's basically all he could say to beat this case. And I don't know about what they're going to have the witnesses come on the stand and say, but, you know, in Rod Wave's neighborhood, they're usually not telling like that. So you don't see a lot of snitches in his neighborhood. So unless it's somebody that came out of his camp that was in that same house that this whole situation happened at, if one of them two people that came in the room to break up the fight, it all falls on them to basically back Rod Wave and say that he was in danger and he had no other choice but to do the maneuver he did to protect himself. But if the stories don't match up along all Rod Wave and the two witnesses, then Rod Wave is gonna have to stay in. He's gonna have to take about a couple months to a year, maybe get a slap on the wrist because he's a celebrity. But what the outcome that's wanted is where they could just sweep this all under the rug and come out with some deal about how he protected himself and that it was no charges to be brought on. But it could go both ways, really. Y'all got to just keep coming back to the channel and looking at the facts that I present, and just subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment down below whether are you a Rod Wave supporter. Do you support Rod Wave? If you do like this channel, or if you don't, make sure you subscribe. But either way, just tap back in for the next video.